Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. Mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, and live the life we love. It's Thursday, so it's mini story day. I got this from Clarissa Pinkola Estes' book, Women Who Run with the Wolves, Sealskin, Soulskin. Chapter was called When the Heart is a Lonely Hunter. Well, this hunter up in the circumpolar regions, he was really lonely. It wasn't just that he was looking for food, he was looking for companionship. And as he was searching on the outflows for the ice flows for some catch, he heard these voices. And so he moved his canoe over to where he wasn't seen, but he saw all these women without clothes dancing in the moonlight on the ice floes. And then after a long while or a short while, whatever time it takes, he saw that these women had skins of seals that they put back on and dove back into the water. But before one of them could get their sealskins, he had this impulse. He grabbed the sealskin and hid it away. And this woman was freaking out. She couldn't find her sealskin. He finally came out and said, "I have your sealskin. Please, don't leave me. Stay with me. Be my wife." She said, "I can't. I have to go back to the area where I live, where I belong." He says, I promise, if you stay with me 7 years, I'll give you your skin back." So she naively accepted because there was something compassionate in his eyes. And anyway, that's what happened. So she went with him, and they had a child, and they named the boy Uruk. And after 7 years, one day Uruk was wakened by his parents fighting. And he listened, and she said, "It's 7 years. Look at me. I'm drying up. My skin is scaly. My hair is falling out. My eyes are dull. I have no luster in me. I have to get back to where I belong." He says, "I can't give you your skin back, because if I give it to you, I know you'll leave me, and I don't want to be alone with the boy." So Uruk was so disturbed by what he heard, he tried to go to sleep, but he couldn't. And then I don't know if it was the wind that he heard, but all of a sudden he thought he heard, "Ook, ook, ook." What would you do? He put on his mukluks and he walked out, and there, at the edge of where the ice met the water, there was this huge grandfather walrus who threw the skin onto the ground. And Uruk picked it up and smelled it. "Oh, it smells like my mother." And then the old bull seal left, and Uruk went back to his mother and gave him the skin. He said, "Oh, thank you so much." And so she put it on. She immediately went outside to dive back in the water, and Uruk said to her, "Where are you going?" He says, "I can't stay here. I have to go." He says, "You got to take me with you." So she breathed into his mouth, and they dove in the water, and strangely enough, even though he was human, he could breathe fine under the water. And so his mom took him down, and they found their way to the palace of the old bull shark, who happened to be his grandfather, and he stayed there for, people don't know, a short amount of time, a long amount of time. But I guess he must have been initiated, because when it was time to go, they said, "You can't stay here." And then he went back. And he must have learned some really important lessons, because, number one, he was no longer like the angry hunter, and he was no lonely hunter, and he was no longer like the naive mother. He had the best of both worlds combined in him. And then because of his connection with his mother, who stayed a seal, and his great bull grandfather, he never went hungry, because they always taught him where the best food was. Sealskin, soulskin. All right. So this is a story where there's an obstacle. She couldn't get her skin back, and yet that's the word of the day, obstacles. Are obstacles in your way, or obstacles the way itself? Depends on how you deal with them, right, and whether or not you overcome them. So think about what obstacles you've faced in your life in the past, or you're facing right now. Elevate the conversation with your friends and elicit their information. Or let me know, and I'll tell you what's going on in my life, and we can exchange. So I hope that you use everything that I share as one of the many tools that are available to you. If anything blocks your way or prevents you or hinders your progress, I hope that these talks help you in some way move closer to what you need to do to manifest your destiny. Now, my teacher, B.K. Iyengar, says, being content with the known will not open the door to the unknown. And the important thing is, when you discipline yourself, not to listen to the voice of complaint or laziness. recognize the two voices and realize they're bogus advisors, and find out how to listen to other voices that serve you better than that. Now, of course, seeing things clearly without having to invent anything or superimpose anything or get rid of anything, especially when it comes to not reinforcing your ego's identity. Without the bias of your ego, the world is a combination of factors that in and of themselves have no particular meaning other than what we attribute to them. Your mind makes and your mind takes. So what are you projecting upon the world? Now, fortunately, we have the mercy and compassion of the Spirit. The Spirit, number one, is the one who made all songs and the earth and everything, and reminds you, if you don't tell the stories, not only of your life, but of the ancient stories, the old stories, you impoverish the child inside you, and literally the children who you may have responsibility of bringing up. So like my rabbi says, be a promiscuous lover of all the world's myths. He says he's like a peeping Tom. He likes to look in and see how other people make love to God. But of course, the whole idea is not to be stuck in any one view, one attachment. To use that to help you do what? Go as high as you can. The higher you go, the less difference it makes. Till you go so high, it makes no difference at all. Because once the prayer goes through the church, the synagogue, or the kanka, God can't tell the denomination, because God doesn't buy from retailers, only from wholesalers. But if you get that high and you let go, even though you're a particularization of a certain culture or ethnicity, but you've had the mystical insight that takes you beyond, the first hallmark that you know you got it is compassion. You assume other people's goodwill, and you work to raise the level of what I call the love and the trust thing. Yeah, as a hippie, my job is to leave everybody's head and heart a little bit better than I found it. So I try to be open. I try not to hide anything. I don't act like I'm superior. And when things need to be done, I just get in there and be with them. So remember, your incarnation is not an error, as Ram Dass says. Everybody's struggling to be divine. You're already divine. It's being human that you have the problem with. So take the curriculum and see what happens. And as a result of that, I hope that your life is building a monument to the legacy of well-being, which you will enjoy if you do that. And then what happens is you start to strike it rich by hitting the happiness circuits in your brain. How do you strengthen the happiness circuits in your brain? Actually pretty simple. Just take in the good and project the good to other people as well. Have a great day.